With that, we are going to go to a very special guest that we are lucky to have in live with us this morning in our studios, KEXP Studios here. It is none other than local Seattle singer, songwriter, musician, activist Jim Page.
Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. So you have a big event coming up next week at the Bathhouse Theater celebrating your 40th?
Well, basically, it's roughly 40 years ago that I arrived in Seattle. I'm a little older than 40. But I mean, somewhere in 1970, I'm a little bit cloudy about it. I think it was actually more like April or something that I arrived. But whatever. I'm from California originally, and I left for when things started to get kind of nasty. Late '69, I went to New York City, and in New York, I met some people from Seattle. And when I was done, kind of doing the village thing, I came out with them out here because Seattle sounded great, like an adventure. I'd never heard of the place before, and I remember seeing it the first time and thinking, "Wow, this is just my size," because I'd been in Manhattan for a year. So, wow, man, you could hold this in the palm of your hand, comparatively, back then, 40 years ago. And it was a great and wonderful place, and I've been here ever since. I mean, I lived in Europe for a few years, so I guess I haven't been here entirely ever since, but, lived in Europe for a few years, L.A. for a little bit, down in Oregon for a little bit. But I always come back because this is so much of it's in me. So this is the 40th anniversary of that, and it's going to be a 2-part show. The first part is me playing solo, doing pretty much mostly songs that I haven't done in a long time, old stuff from back in those 70s days and so on. And then the second half is like I'm going to have all these special guests, people that have meant a lot to me in my career over the years, Seattle people, artists, the Spoon Man, Orville Johnson, Grant Dermody, Sam Wise. Where's my brain? Oh my goodness! I think I left it in the car. No, it's not on that flyer. No, it's only on the larger posters. Okay. Doesn't matter. People that have meant a lot to me over the years, whose names I can't remember.
Well, it is early.
It is early. Yeah, it is early. So it's at the Bathhouse Theater.
Very good. So what got you involved doing music in the first place?
I was, your typical dysfunctional teenager, maybe in some ways more dysfunctional than usual. And I discovered the acoustic guitar quite by accident one day. It was Lightnin' Hopkins, the great Texas blues singer. And it was the way that he sang. The way that he sang got right through to me because you could tell he was able to break through that barrier of himself and become a nothing, if you know what I'm saying, and then come through with that through the radio into my ear, sitting in the back of my parents' car at the age of 15. And that's it. That's what I'm going to do because that's the way I could save myself from drowning. And so I went there, and I jumped right into the local scene. It was a coffee house scene and a couple of bars that these people played in, and I had some older friends that vouched for me, and so I was able to start playing bars when I was like, 18, I think. It's like 3 years early, all this kind of stuff. And I just jumped right in right away and started learning, and I took some lessons, and I stole everybody's songs, got everybody's repertoire, went to all their gigs, sat down front, learned everything. And it just became this thing that I did. And it was my gateway to society, to social networking, to friends, to the world, to everything. And I learned over a period of years what a song can actually do. How you can go into a place that doesn't have a folk scene, but it's got people, like almost every place in the world does, right? And you find out, you see where those people congregate, street corners, cafes, bus stations, whatever. And unless there's an angry policeman somewhere, you can sing in that bus station, on that street corner, on that campus, whatever. And if you sing about what is happening in people's lives, they will respond. I mean, obviously, it's a social, real thing to do. I learned that a song can do that. It can carry the story of what happened to people over there to people over here. And it can carry the story of what happened to people over here for ongoing years. And it's an old part of our oral tradition, but I didn't know that. I was because of who I am and where I am. But I learned it. I learned it by doing. How important a song can actually be. What it can actually do. It's bigger than you, the listener, and it's bigger than me, the singer. it becomes this larger thing that's something that we all work on, and we carry them. They're amazing things. They're amazing. And the weirdest thing of all that I've learned, one of the weirdest things I've learned over the years, that once a song is once you're done singing the song, it's gone. It's not there anymore. It doesn't exist. A song does not exist unless something is moving. A song is a verb. Music is a verb. The whole thing is a verb. Unless that CD is spinning, that MP3 player is turned on, or the person is on stage opening their mouth and actually doing it, it doesn't exist. When the gig is over, it's all gone. It's weird. It's totally weird. You spend your life doing something that doesn't exist anymore. It's weird. I mean, it is, It makes you a little bit crazy.
Well, how about starting us out with a song?
Seattle doesn't have a lot of ghost bikes in it. They show up from time to time, and then I guess the city takes them down or something. When a bicycle rider gets hit by a car, very often the local cycle community will take an old bicycle, they'll strip it down, and they'll paint it white. And then they'll fasten it to a lamppost or a stop sign right where the accident happened. And that's a ghost bike. Ghost bikes. Ghost bikes. Ghost bikes. Ghost bikes. Bicycles. All over town. Dangerous streets, they'll run you down. Memorialized among the stars, with wildflowers on your handlebars. Ghost bikes, ghost bikes, bicycles, as free as a breeze. What could be more humane than these? Like pedal birds, and that's what they are. Don't stand a chance against a car. Ghost bikes, ghost bikes. This country was built on petroleum wheels. Factory whistles and business deals. You could be a traitor to the bottom line. They don't even see it till it's too late sometimes. Ghost bikes, ghost bikes, ghost bikes, ghost bikes. Somebody got hit on a Saturday night. They took a bicycle and they painted it white. Now it's a ghost bike. Poetry and an epitaph. Keepsakes and a photograph. Could have been somebody that you almost knew. Could have been you. Ghost bikes. Ghost bikes. A long time ago, somebody invented a wheel. And somebody else said, well, this is gonna be a big deal. Humanity is gonna have to decide whether to asphyxiate itself or go out for a ride. Ghost bikes, ghost bikes, ghost bikes, ghost bikes. You want to change the world, do it one step at a time. Get out of that dinosaur and leave it behind. Ghost bikes. write a poem, sing a song. Life goes on, so get back on and ride for everybody who has ever ridden before, and ride some more. Ghost bikes, ghost bikes, ghost bikes. I thought I saw a ghost bike. Ghost bikes. I thought I saw a ghost bike.
That was great. Jim Page, Seattle singer, songwriter, activist, Ghost Bikes. That's off your new CD, Ghost Bikes?
It is. It's actually, yeah. It is.
He is performing next week at the Bathhouse Theater, which is at Green Lake. So that's Sunday, June 12th, 7:30 p.m. You can get your tickets for that at brownpapertickets.com. And we're going to be going right back to Jim in just a few minutes. But